Good afternoon, folks. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor at Madison365, with your daily update for Saturday, the 19th of December. It'll be a short one today. Um, we'll just focus on the COVID numbers that have come in today, which don't look a lot different than the last few days. A couple of things I will point out, though. First of all, we had today we have 447 more tests than we had yesterday. And we have 440 more cases. So basically, all of the almost every additional test we got as compared to yesterday was positive, which is just doesn't feel good. So what that means in real life is 3,675 new cases today, 10,876 tests. So the test rate for today is 33%, actually closer to 34%. Yesterday it was 31%. Right, the day before that was 33. So none of that is great. The 7-day averages, though, are, as the as these tests and positive results are allocated to the days that they actually came in, those get spread out over the past few days. So that's why the 7-day averages are typically better, lower than that daily number. So on a 7-day basis, we're actually improved considerably since yesterday. We basically were stuck right under 28% for the last week. So kind of going up and down between 27.6 and 27.8 for the past week. Today we're 26.9. So from Saturday to Saturday, 26.9% of people who got a test tested positive, which is not good by any stretch, but it's better than it was yesterday. Better than it was the 7 days leading up to yesterday. In terms of tests, only 9.6 came back positive, which again, to say only 9.6 is bad, because that's like, that number really needs to be 3 or less or lower. So 9.6 is not good, but yesterday it was 10, and 2 days ago it was 10.7. So again, that is the of all the tests that were processed in the past 7 days, 9.6 were positive. That is so much lower than the percentage of people who tested positive, because lots of people get multiple tests every week. So there's, for every person who got a test once and tested positive, there's somebody else who got like 4 negative tests because they're a nurse or a teacher or something. They're getting 2 or 3 tests each week, and mostly coming back negative. So still 9.6 is very high, but it's better than it was. And it is, over the past week, 2 weeks, it's really moving in the right direction. So that's good news. The other bit of good news before I'll give you one more piece of good news, which, don't put too much stock in this good news, but it is good news, and we like good news, is the number of people hospitalized is down to 1,274, which again is high. It wasn't very long ago, even like early September, that was like 400, right? So that's still pretty high, but that's 56 fewer than it was yesterday. And that decline has been happening for the past, since right before Thanksgiving, so like 3 weeks. 4 weeks almost. Wow, it's late December, isn't it? Yeah, almost a month now that's been kind of drifting downward. That was up over 2,200 at one point, right? So that doesn't mean hospitals are doing okay, necessarily. For some of that downward trend is because hospitals have purposely not been hospitalizing people that probably should be hospitalized, right? They've been changing their standards a little bit just to keep that population low and to keep capacity higher for those people who really, really, really need to be hospitalized. Um, the population at the alternate care facility at State Fair Park in Milwaukee is still at 6. So there's still 6 patients who there are hospitals who didn't have room for 6 patients. That's not who needed to be hospitalized. That's not terrible. That was over 20 at one point. But the fact that there are still people at that field hospital means there's at least some places where there's not enough room and not enough staff. Okay? So don't breathe too heavy a sigh of relief that the hospitalization number is going down. It's we're still kind of at the edge of being over capacity, and hospital staff and healthcare providers are overworked and feeling it. And there's going to be some trauma when this is all over for those folks who have been in the trenches dealing with this. So, anyway, but still, it is true that a downward trend among in that hospitalization number is good news. I just realized I never put my little crawl on there. Okay, the bad news though today, 2 things. First of all, the 7-day average of new cases, which has been falling, it's been falling because we've had less testing, right? But still, that went up again. It's almost 3,100. It's 3,096 now. Past 7 days, average 3,096 new cases reported. That was 2,900 yesterday. So that's not great news. That doesn't mean a lot, just because that corresponds so tightly to testing. So less testing equals lower number, and now we have slightly better testing numbers the last few days, so that goes up. Excuse me. The real bad news today is the deaths. And again, we have 86 deaths reported today. That doesn't mean 86 people died today. It means 86 death certificates were uploaded to the database and included in county data, and then therefore included in DHS statewide data. So that is a bit of catch up. But still, anytime you learn about a death, it's bad news. It is bad news when the person passed away. 48 of those deaths were in Milwaukee County, which is high. That's another way you kind of know that it's catch up. That it's one county had some backlog of reporting. But what that does, it gives us a better picture of reality. And that puts our 7-day death average at 51, and it was 44 yesterday. Now, it's a little misleading because even of those 86 deaths that are reported today, there's a significant number of them didn't even happen in the past 7 days, probably. Which is why we also look at the 30-day average, which is still 51. And the 14-day average is 50. Now, that is the highest, the 86, that's the highest number of deaths we've reported since December 1st. December 1st, we reported 107. That remains the record. And it's the highest Saturday we've had in a while. The last Saturday we reported 50. This Saturday before that we reported 77. I would anticipate a lower number tomorrow because not as much paperwork is happening on the weekends. So the past couple of Sundays we've been like in the 15, 12, 17, that kind of range. So I would anticipate a lower number tomorrow, but still to see that 86 number is not doesn't feel great. I will also say that there were 2 deaths reported that had previously been reported that were taken out of the data. One in Calumet County and one in Oneida County. So those were corrected for. So our total death toll goes up by 84. Okay, so we're reporting 86 deaths today, but we're taking 2 back out. So it goes up by 84, and the total death toll now was 4,000. Where'd it go now? 4,399. Sorry, 4,399. I'll tell you where they were. 48, as I mentioned, were in Milwaukee County. And then there were 6 in Waukesha County, 5 in Dodge County, 3 in Outagamie, 2 each in Washington, Walworth, Sauk, Kenosha, and Barron counties, and then 1 each in Vernon, Sheboygan, Shawano, Sawyer, Polk, Pepin, Oconto, Manitowoc, Lincoln, Jefferson, Jackson, Forest, Columbia, and Ashland counties. In terms of new cases today, by county, the most new cases total is Milwaukee County, as usual, 724 today. That equals 77, right up to 77 new cases per 100,000 residents, which is puts Milwaukee like kind of toward the bottom of the pack. To give you an idea how this works, 724 new cases in Milwaukee County, as I said, equals 77 new cases per 100,000 residents. Polk County has only 34 new cases today, also the same number of cases per 100,000, 77. So 34 cases in Polk County is basically the same impact as 724 in Milwaukee County, right? So when you think of it that way, what you get is Jackson County has the highest per capita new cases today. We're just talking about today right now. 78 new cases today in Jackson County. That's 381 cases per 100,000 residents. Okay, that's like 4 times as high as Milwaukee County. Douglas County today is second with 186 per 100,000. And Dodge, Clark, Juneau, Green Lake, Lincoln, Richland, Burnett, Ashland, Monroe, Langley, Menominee, Fond du Lac, and Sawyer. Those are the top 15. Getting you all the way down to 84 cases per 100,000 in Sawyer County. I'm reading this out not to get too much into the weeds on the stats, but just to demonstrate once again that it's the rural counties where this is really, really, really having a really strong impact. Excuse me. So that's what you kind of really don't like to see, honestly, is that rural impact. And then you have Wood, Kewaunee, and Polk before you even get to Milwaukee County. So those, again, all the rural counties is where the sort of highest per capita spread is right now, and you're seeing the deaths there too. As I mentioned, where the death locations are, a lot of those in those smaller rural counties. So I think I mentioned it would be a brief one today. That's about all I have for you. If you have any questions, drop them in there into the comments. We'll be back tomorrow. I will also remind you that we have, what's today, the 19th? We have 12 days left in our news match, meaning every donation you make to our nonprofit news operation goes twice as far, because we have the Knight Foundation, Democracy Fund, Institute for Nonprofit News, who else? Miami Foundation, all pitching in to match your donations. Facebook Journalism Project as well. So, and it's very simple. This is our 4th year doing it. On the 1st of January, we send them a spreadsheet with all of our donations from November 1st to the end of December, and they cut us a check for that amount. It's really simple. So you give us 20, and they give us another 20, and we get 40. You give us 100, we get 200. And that money goes basically just straight to our bottom line, straight to our operating budget, which is mostly to pay people. Most of our budget is to pay people to do professional journalism, and that's what we do. That's our whole thing, is to create journalism that helps you, that keeps you informed, and that's where most of the money goes. We don't have an office. There's very, very little overhead. We pay the bill to keep the website online, and we pay for an email service, and we pay for we don't even pay for email. because we're a nonprofit. Google gives us free Gmail, so but most of it goes to those people. Andrew asks, do you offer an option to do weekly or monthly recurring donation? When you go to Madison365.org/donate, you click the donate button, and it takes you to the Newsmatch site, and it's very simple there to make it a monthly donation. You just check a box to make it a monthly. You can do $5 a month, $10 a month, and it's also super easy to cancel that. If for whatever reason your circumstances change and you can't do it anymore, just cancel it. It's fine. But the really cool thing about Newsmatch is, if you make a $5 a month recurring donation, that'll be $60 for the year, right? But if you make that today, and you only pay $5 today for the donation, and then it'll take a $5 out every month, Newsmatch will give us $60. They match your whole year's worth of monthly recurring donations. So that's an added incentive, I guess. If you want to give us $60 and make them give us another $60, but you don't have $60 to spare right now, make it a $5 a month, and they'll kick in the full $60, which is, I think, really cool. So thanks for asking, Andrew. Andrew has been a supporter of ours, so we appreciate you very much. Thanks again, everybody, for your attention today, and we will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
This is 365 Media.